Hello and welcome back to the channel. I recently found a website that gives you a Rosen score, which is a number of trophies based on how many Eric Rosen inspired challenges you have completed. After entering my username, I found I had a Rosen score of only 22 out of 63. So today, I'm trying some of the fun challenges listed to increase my Rosen score. Today's challenge is alphabet openings, where you have to win a game where your opening moves spell out a word. Today, I'm gonna try to get the egg opening. Let's get started with game number one. All right, game number one, we get the black pieces. Against a 2140 rated opponent, we'll play E, and then we have to play G, and then G again, which immediately loses a pawn, but the opponent doesn't even take it. So we have the chance to defend it, and now they're challenging the pawn structure after realizing what has just happened. I figure if we're gonna play a weird opening, we might as well lean into it, so we'll target the knight. It centralizes, and let's go ahead and try to defend it. Or rather, the pawn on G4 that it targets. We'll play D6 to boot the knight. And we're super behind in development, but I still think we have a chance here. We'll play bishop to e7. I feel like they're sacrificing ideas here. Depends on where this bishop goes though, because if I sack and get the queen on h4, the bishop is nicely defending the king side. So we'll see what happens here in the center as well. We'll go ahead and start with, I think knight to d7 is a fair call. There's the possibility of rerouting to f8, and we get met with c4. Let's play bishop to f6. It's a weird position, but I think I have to fight for e5. I think if I have control over the dark squares, I'm not doing half bad. We'll play knight to e7. And I know that blocks the original idea, but knight to g6 could potentially control f4 and reopen that avenue. We get b4. Obviously, the opponent knows that there's no chance we're castling kingside, so a queenside attack is definitely warranted if that's the only place we can keep our king safe. What I don't think they're considering is that I might not have any interest in keeping my king safe. I might just go Hail Mary and start the attack. Let's continue with knight to f8. I want to have this bishop at my disposal, and let's just go for it. I mean, when you play these funky openings, you can't count too much on opening principles. Might even take with a knight, to be honest. Yeah, target the bishop, and I can remove one more defender from the kingside position, and not only that, I do it with tempo, so I have these pawn pushes available. Okay, now they replace one defending piece with another, but knights usually don't do that well acting as fianchettoed bishops, surprisingly. We'll go ahead and push h3, and the queen now comes into the position. If the bishop goes back, g3 isn't possible, but there is an intermediate check. I don't know if that's all that we need. We also have this, bishop takes rook g8, but the problem is they can easily defend that bishop, so we'll start with the check. Right, and the king shuffles over, okay. Let's go queen back to h7. We have eyes on e4 if this knight ever has the idea of moving away. And we also have b6 and developing the bishop, which I know it seems like it's a little bit late in the game to start developing your pieces, but we need everybody that we can get in this attack. So we'll play b6, looking for bishop b7. Whoa, my mouse is slipping out. Also applying a little bit of pressure on e4. We get d5. Let's develop this knight, maybe looking for knight to f6. We're also down to 41 seconds. It's very time consuming to calculate all of these weird attacking ideas. I guess we should take with the knight. Okay, queen shuffles over, and this attack has pretty much simmered down. We'll go ahead and take. We're dropping g4 if they take on e5, but we'll move the king over, and we live to fight another day. Or at least another 31 seconds, give or take. We'll play this. Still have eyes on e4. Oh, and we're checked to trade the queens, which is pretty much the end of that attack. Okay, we'll shuffle the king. Oh, what do we do here? The attack is sizzled out, so I don't think we have too many chances, not to mention we have 17 seconds left on the clock. So we'll try to bullet out some moves here and see if we can cause some complications for the opponent, but the odds that we win this are brutally slim. Right, they defend. I'm gonna be honest, I'm not even sure what idea I'm supposed to be looking for. The problem is I don't even have time to look for any ideas. I guess this. They can just take my rook though and they win the pawn. They move over here. Yeah, and this is pretty much as good as done. I don't think there are even any traps that I can really play for. Okay, they just take, we'll go ahead and take. Check, put pressure on the knight on g3. I mean, we'll always fight it out until the end, but the problem is there's not much to fight for in this position. Yeah, I mean, even grabbing pawns, yeah, they have this passed pawn, and with that we time out. All right, we do lose game number one, but I don't think it was a bad start. We'll pair ourselves again. This time we get the white pieces, which might not make a huge difference, but it will be a little bit more promising. Okay, not only that, but we get g4 without actually losing the pawn. So it might even look like we're doing something on purpose. We'll play bishop g2. And I'm gonna go ahead and commit to the double fianchetto. I think I'll play bishop b2 here. Right, bishop d6, d3, and then just develop the knights towards the center. I don't really know what I want to do with this knight yet. I'm pretty sure I want it on f3 and then h4, but the opponent really is starting to look like they want a queenside castle. In which case, I don't know if I want my knight here allowing e4 and opening up the center. Yeah, bishop e6. Let's at least play a4 to pretend like we have ideas of a queenside attack. All right, we get a6, we'll play a5. It is a weak pawn, so they could choose to go for it, leaving their king in the center. But we'll see what they come up with here. Okay, they do castle kingside, so we do go knight to f3. It would make my absolute day if they played d4 here, because then we can play e4, close off the center, and there's so many good attacking ideas. Okay, they go bishop back. I think they want to play e4, which didn't work when the bishop was on e6, because takes. I can trade off the bishop for the knight, queen takes back, and then I win the pawn. But that is no longer the case, so we're going to jump the gun and play g5, and then take back. Right, we do get e4 anyways. Now, why can't I just take? That definitely looks like a free pawn. And when it comes to free pawns, I'm something of a hungry hippo. So I think I'm just going to take that. Yeah, why can't I? In fact, I'm going to take it this way and complicate the life of the bishop on d6 as well. So if the knight takes, even better, because I still have that pressure and my bishop gets some scope. Okay, which they immediately cut off. Fair play. Pretty sure I should just trade. The knight takes back. Queen couldn't take back because queen takes d7. And my king is in such an ugly position. I can probably just trade off into an endgame. I'm going to play queen to d6. I have sights on this pinned pawn on b7, right? Pinned to the rook on a8 by my bishop. And we're a little bit up on time, which is generally a pretty good prospect for me. Okay, the opponent has taken a huge chunk of time there to decide to trade off the queens, which in an endgame that is probably going to be a little bit technical is probably not the best idea. Okay, that is a free pawn. c5 is dropping next, and I don't think there's a way to defend it. Right, there are counterattacking ideas. Oh, that's a great idea, actually. Yeah, that's a good find. So there was a way to defend it by counterattacking. I could play rook to c1. I could just castle long. I think I'm going to go with long castles because it sort of inadvertently puts my rook on the open file, which is always good. Wow, that is a very deep pawn sacrifice. Giving up a pawn to worsen my pawn structure is a super interesting idea. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and take, but that was a really good find by the opponent as well. I cannot deny. Even knight to a2, yeah, and rook here is quite annoying. Let's play the knight back. And I think in the perfect world, I go either knight b3 or knight d3 as a defensive move. Not to mention the time situation has actually evened itself out. Even this, targeting the knight and the pawn behind it, is a pretty darn good way to play this. Right, they do play exactly that. We'll play knight to d7, target their rook. We get checked. Pretty sure I can just move out of the way. Right, and then king to e2. Whoa, king to e2 doesn't work. I'm going to play it anyways, but there's a fork on c3, but I'm going to take back. Yeah, check. I'm going to go ahead and move out of the way and then just take back. The biggest problem I have now is the pinned knight on d7, but I like the fact that I have 3 pawns and a knight for a rook. It's not as good as what I had before, but the opponent found some really good positional play there. I can't even complain, to be honest. Okay, wait, I can just move my rook now. Sweet. Okay, perfect. And suddenly we're not losing any material. Don't mind if I do. In fact, I will, I think, double my rooks, and then knight to b6 if they take on c4. I wish I could explain it a little bit more than just rambling off moves, but this is a pretty tight endgame. We've managed to connect all of our pawns. Look at that. Boom, 5 pawns in a row. Beautiful. Last thing you would have expected from such an ugly position on our part, but we did get it. We'll go pawn hunting as well, but we do get the resignation, and with that, we do win with the egg opening. If you guys did enjoy this video, please consider liking and subscribing. Let me know down below what other openings I should play, or if there are any other challenges on the Rosen score that I should try. I will also have the website link in the description so you can scan your own username and see what challenges you have done and which you can do. I will see you guys in the next one.